Hello and welcome to another edition of Nightline. With us today, as usual, is panelist Rick Fletcher. And look who else we found, Mark Kerkhoff today.
Nice to join you guys for Nightline.
I'm not going to say anything. We found Mark wandering around the hallways here, so we decided we're going to put him to work today.
This is like the old Tom Hanks movie where he's in the airport. We find Mark here all the time. So Mark, we appreciate you joining us today. Let's talk a little bit of TEC volleyball all-conference. That was announced on Thursday after the TEC banquet. And on that first team is Claire Coddington, and a senior. And then on the honorable mention was Anna Drake. So kudos to the girls.
Congratulations to them. Claire has been a 4-year starter for the Knights volleyball program.
Yes.
And Anna, probably at least a 3-year starter.
I'm thinking 3 years, and plus Anna's playing basketball this year.
So we're seeing her a lot this year in basketball.
And both great girls, top 10 in their class, and then they're also FFA officers as well. So you couldn't ask for a couple other better girls to represent your team in volleyball or your school.
Very well-rounded.
Yes.
That's what you want to see in students.
Well, and speaking of the girls right now, let's throw this one out. Okay. Of all the TEC teams, all 9 of them, our girls won the all-conference TEC trophy, which means we scored higher in all the girls' sports than anybody else, got the most points, so we're number 1.
So that encompasses all girls teams.
Yeah.
All right.
For all three, for fall, winter, and spring, they take all the results from conference and they give them points. I didn't get to see the point spread, so I don't know what it was. But the end result was
number 1.
All of our sports programs, and kudos to Athletic Director Jerry Kiesling.
Absolutely.
For bringing home that trophy.
Oh, the assistant athletic director too, don't forget him.
Yes. He does an okay job as well.
Who is that guy anyways? Do we know who that is? That would be Jerry Middleton.
It really doesn't matter. No, but that was great. And I think that point spread was actually a fairly decent size point spread on it, because you got to remember, volleyball finished 3rd, girls finished 1st in basketball, and then cross country did well last year, and then we move into the spring sport. Girls golf
had a great year.
Did really well, and so I mean it was, and also the track did fairly well. So it worked out great for everybody.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to the girls.
Yeah,
that's putting the boys' sports program on notice.
Oh my! Wow, there you've heard it there. Now Rick's putting the challenge out. So anyway, let's move on to also being announced was the all TEC first team and honorable mention for football. And we had on football as a junior, Noah Ammerman and Carson Terrell.
So we have our leading passer and receiver coming back for their senior year. So that's something to look forward to for next year.
And I want to say for those 2 guys right there, that's well deserved. Mm-hmm. Okay, Carson really made a step up this year at quarterback, and Noah, I'm looking for good things from him coming next year. So congratulations to those 2 guys.
And we also had Justin McGuffey, who he had an outstanding season as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he
played
did.
extremely well. Now the next one here, Alex Mikesell, and again, Alex came back from a knee injury 2 years ago and really played well this year.
And completely changed roles.
Oh yes.
And that's what's special about Alex Mikesell. He was not a lineman last 2 years, but he was a 2-year starter at other positions. And all of a sudden to change his role, doing it for the good of the team, showing that unselfishness, congratulations to him.
Well, it's funny you mention unselfishness, because the other day we had an accident out here in front of the building, and the first person on the scene helping somebody was Alex Mikesell.
I believe he's the one that made the call to 911 to make sure that everything got started too.
Yeah, and so way to take charge and go out there, and way to be a fine young man by doing that and helping people. On the other side of the honorable mention, we have Caleb Harmon.
Another junior, so
Yeah.
somebody to protect our quarterback coming back in the next year.
Trevor Isaacs.
Senior. Congratulations to Trevor.
Yeah. So that's great. So football looks good for next year, I think. I think things are looking strong for football. Then we'll roll into girls basketball.
Well, season's on right now.
Season is on, and it's been a bit tough.
Well, let me say this about girls basketball. We were all there. We were there, Jerry, for the Randolph Southern game.
Yep.
And it was a tough game for the girls.
Yes, it was.
We've already discussed that one
Yep.
before. And then they went up to Muncie Central and hung tough. They
Yes.
had a chance to win that game in the last 10 seconds of game. They were in position, didn't get it done. All right, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. And so last night, Franklin County comes to town and another 1-point game. So they're on the verge, but we are seeing progress. There is what you want to see with a young team, and we've alluded to this all year. They are going to be a work in progress. They're missing some pieces right now, missing some players. Those players will be coming back real soon, is what we've been told. Okay, but right now, what you want to see is progress with this team. Eventually, those are going to translate into wins.
Well, I tell you the one thing I saw that I've seen so far is our free throw shooting last night was, I mean, off the charts.
Yeah, it was fabulous, and that's one thing, one area that we felt that they had to work on after the first two games, but last night they were hitting their free throws. And they were up in that game, fairly substantially at one point, and they
14 points
at one point
was the biggest lead.
But, I want to keep encouraging these girls because they have some good players.
Oh, yes.
They're very young right now, very young, but they have some good players.
Well, and you're asking 5 young players who haven't played together to now face teams that have those juniors and seniors that have played together. So you're going to have some lumps. But if you look at those 3 games, each game has been a little bit closer in that final score.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, eventually those scales have to tip the other way.
Yeah, I think if the girls can just get over that hump and get that first win, that you never know, that opens the floodgates sometime.
Well, and let's face it, these games are nothing but exhibition games for the conference. They don't mean anything. They don't mean anything to get into the state tournament. So if you just work better, because, that first week of February, that's when it's really important.
Well, speaking of last night's game against Franklin County, Jerry, you and I were on MyTeamLive.tv.
Yep.
We had some technical difficulties, but hopefully you can catch that game on YouTube. But we were able to give out our first of the season Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Player of the Game.
And I think we have some footage with our roaming reporter.
Didn't have to roam too far
Not
last
to roam too far. And so we're going to go to that footage and we'll be right back.
So here we are at Northeastern Gym Friday night, and the Knights fall to the Wildcats from Franklin County by 1 point, 54 to 53. We are here with the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Player of the Game, Ava Mikesell. So Ava, congratulations, you had a good game. Tough loss though. Well, we're thinking that you guys are young. You're only a freshman, okay? So we're thinking that you guys just need to get over that hump, and that's going to come soon.
Yes, it will.
So we noticed as we were broadcasting the game, you have no fear. You take that ball right to the hoop, and you're only what, 5'3",
Yeah.
5'4", 68 pounds, something like that.
I guess so.
All right, but you take that right to the hoop with no fear.
Yes, I do.
And is that what you tried to do? You want to get to the hoop? Is that what your plan is?
Yes, I really like to drive. That's one of the things that I've been working on. I still like to shoot outside, but driving, I just feel like a boss out there when I drive.
Yeah, and again, you're short, they're tall, and you have no fear. You just go right in there.
I do.
Well, no rest for the weary. You're right back at it tomorrow.
Yes, I am.
And hopefully you can get that first W.
Yes.
All right. Well, congratulations. You had a great game. Tough loss.
Yep.
All right. But
It's all right.
it looks like we're growing as a team. We're playing
are.
a lot of a lot of young players out there. And you're one of those young players.
We're definitely progressing from our first game.
Yeah,
It's going
so
good.
Knights lose by 1. Another ball game tomorrow. Back to you guys.
Welcome our new sponsor, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Brian Maurer, agent. Give him a call for all your insurance needs. There's no reason to knock on wood.
So here we are at Saturday, and the Knights just got defeated by the Lapel Bulldogs 47-27. We have with us today is Angi, and she is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup player of the game. So you get the peanut butter cup. This is a coveted reward, by the way.
His dad came out.
So we thought you came out, and when you got into the game, you played well. You know, what was your attitude when you went in there? There was a big score. They were up by a lot. So what are you trying to achieve when you're out in the game like that?
Well, in the first quarter, I didn't think I played, or not, in the first 2 quarters, I didn't think I played very well. I thought that I should put more effort in and try to do that. But in the third and fourth quarter, I thought that I put it up a notch, and I wanted to get more rebounds. I wanted to do some more screens. I wanted to do the plays that we were running. I wanted to try and post up.
Yeah, you did that. I mean, we were commenting on that. You were doing all those things that you're trying to achieve here, and you did that very well. So you guys are a young team, haven't hit the win mark yet, but it's coming, all right? You're a good team, though. You have some good players. You're one of the fabulous freshmen that we like to tell everybody about. So you got Union County coming up. Actually, the whole season's ahead of you. So your attitude going forward, what are you guys looking to do?
Well, we're looking to have a positive attitude and not dwell on our mistakes.
Yeah?
And we're hoping to run more plays right, because we felt that we didn't actually run plays. We felt that we took a step back in our last 2 games where we improved so much. But for the games going forward, we want to try. We want to give our best effort, and hopefully we'll win.
All right. Well, very good. Congratulations on the Reese's Cup. That's a coveted award, by the way. Everybody tries to get that.
Thank you.
And you're only a freshman, and you got it, so that's good. All right. Well, we're going to see you back in the studio, but Tuesday night the Knights will play Union County in their first conference game. So be in the gym. Let's fill the gym. So back to you guys in the studio.
Well, that was a nice interview with Ava. She loosened up there a little bit. All of them have camera fright in the beginning.
She's probably, 14 years old,
Yeah.
just a young kid. She's coming up, playing varsity, doing a great job. She stands about 5'3". I don't know how much she weighs, but not much. She's just a little kid, but she's in there playing big minutes, running this team out on the floor as a freshman, and she was scoring. She drives to the basket with no fear.
Mark, I know that last night I think was about the first time you've seen her play.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get on the road to see the girls play, but last night I got to see them, and it was the first time I got to see her in action on the varsity court. And yeah, I think those transitions that Coach Mayo talked about, I think those are starting to kick in a little bit. You're always going to have some of those early season freshman mistakes, but yeah, she drove the ball well. I thought she went to the left, I think, on a couple layups in the first half. Very strongly.
And she's only a freshman. I mean, that's what I want to drive home here. She's
Took
just
a big contact on one of them.
Oh yeah, she got hammered.
And I talked to her, Keaton, her older brother, and she said, yeah, we knew she was going to be fine. So you can tell she grew up with 3 older brothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be an awesome thing to see develop as the season goes along, and then even beyond as her high school career, to see how she continues to develop and kind of lead the team.
Well, last thing on girls basketball, if you haven't seen a girls game yet, Tuesday night's your next chance. We'll be at home, and that's going to start JV at 6:30, and that's against Union County, which is a Tri-Eastern Conference game. Now it gets serious.
We're getting into the meat of the schedule.
We're getting into, need-win situations and so forth to fight for that conference. So hopefully we'll see everybody here. But if you can't, you can catch us on my Team Live TV. Rick and myself will be broadcasting that ball game. Well, it should be a varsity tip-off, probably 7:15, 7:30 in that ballpark. Wednesday, the next day after the girls, is boys basketball time. A scrimmage with Delta. Here, 6:30 is when that starts. Now, I don't know if we're going to do anything on My Team Live. We might. we might just sit up there and just, do some talking.
We'll be there. We'll probably
Yeah.
catch some video of the scrimmage, and I'm sure we'll have things to say about that next week when we record that.
But
A lot of excitement around boys basketball around here. A lot of excitement. We had the 3 seniors here on Nights of the Round Table.
yes,
And that was excellent. So if you get a chance, you ought to go to that YouTube video and see that. They're very team oriented. You had 3 guys who could be stars in their own right. All they're concerned about is team goals, and that I was impressed with.
Yeah, and Coach Ross is kind of having a chance to, even though he lost over 2,900 points, we're more reloading, I would say, than rebuilding.
Yes.
Just because we do have 3 seniors coming back and some guys that have grown up in the system, and I think that's just a testament to Coach Ross being here for a while. So guys are going to be able to step in and know what to do right away.
Yeah, from my understanding, the pipeline isn't bare. They've got some young kids coming up in
Yes.
the program that
Yes.
keep feeding in, and that's what Ross has done. He's done a great job putting those feeder programs in and maintaining them. It takes a lot of work to do that, and he's done a great job at doing that.
our JV team, just looking at them out here. I mean, now, they're not built like Mean Joe Green, but they're tall.
They got some length.
They're very
Got a
tall.
lot of
They
length.
got some length to them, and that 14, 15-year-old kid, Peyton, when he was a 8th grader, 9th grader, he was that drip of water, and now he's really turned in, filled out, and a good physical basketball player, great attitude and so forth. So, like you said, the cupboard's not bare. It's looking good.
So looking forward to that season starting. Their first game is the night before Thanksgiving, that traditional night before Thanksgiving game.
And that scrimmage is going to be a good test as well because Coach Detweiler teaches his players to be very fundamentally sound, and so they're going to do things and they're going to hustle as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good test getting ready for that day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Delta's always a threat, and their sectionals moving on up there in that Delaware County. And Mark's got his team, always in position to win. So that's a good scrimmage opponent for the night. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, we also have girls basketball will be coming up on Friday at Union City. Now, we will not be broadcasting that game.
I think that tip might be at 6:45, but check event link
Yes.
to make sure on that start time. But I think it says 6:45.
Okay. All right. Another conference game.
Another one.
Union City's going to be competitive this year. I
They're
think.
very good.
So
Yeah,
very
these
good.
are important games coming up for the Lady Knights, and like I said, eventually they'll be getting some players back from injury and whatnot. So hopefully, that will go well for them. So big game at Union City. Head up there. It's not that far. Just head down 227, and you can get there. So go out and support your Lady Knights.
Well, then we had. Well, let's do something else here real quick. Archery. We haven't talked about archery yet. I've been to one archery meet in my life, and bring your binoculars because you can't tell where those doggone arrows hit. It's amazing that it's only maybe 15, 20 meters, but you can't see those arrows where they hit on the target, so you need binoculars to see that. It's really cool. Mark, I think your son.
Yeah, my son competes on the archery team on the middle school side of things. They had their first practice on Friday night, and Brian Richmond is the coach, and he said he actually has so many kids that he's going to actually have to separate his practice time from middle school and high school.
Wow.
And it's just a really cool thing because the kids get to focus on their own thing, and it helps build a little bit of that confidence in them, and it gives the kids another chance to be part of the Northeastern family just in a different way. So there's no cuts.
So I have to admit, I'm very ignorant on archery and how they do it. Tell us a little bit about it, if you know.
So they use a compound bow, but it has no sights on it. So a lot of the guys that like to deer hunt are a little off because it's all they call it instinctive or gap. But they shoot 3 rounds from 10 meters and then 3 rounds for 15 meters, and each round is 5 arrows. So perfect score is 300.
And do they actually they compete in?
They have competitions against other schools, and then at some point in time they'll kind of have a state qualifier to where they try to qualify down for the state. I think that's at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, and if they do well enough, I think they hold a national competition down in Louisville.
Wow, okay.
So we've had several students qualify for the state before, and it's, like I said, it's just all kids from all different walks, and they get a chance. Chase Cates, maybe somebody we've talked about before, on cross country. He's getting to do it this year for the first time. And I asked him how he liked it on practice on Friday. He said, "Oh, I love it."
Yeah.
So another opportunity, if maybe some other kids are thinking about joining, I know Coach Richmond would love to have him out. He's great with the kids. We'll see what the season brings for the night archers.
Well, I got to ask you this question. I know, basketball you have overtime, football you have overtime, hockey you have overtime, golf you have, an extra hole. So now I heard this rumor that overtime in archery, you put an apple on somebody's head. Is there any truth to that?
I haven't seen an overtime event yet, so
Okay.
I can't verify. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
But good luck to the archery team. Once again, like everybody said, it's just another avenue that Northeastern schools are offering for kids. And the next thing, band. Band went to DePaul University for a jazz competition on Friday, and we haven't heard any results on that. Hopefully, we might have some video, maybe for the next show.
We could talk about that. Well, maybe we'll get Dan on.
Maybe we get Dan.
Dan Merkamp to tell us about what's going on in band. Now they will have band in the winter, just like we talked about dances last week. They have a percussion team and their season is in the winter starting after January. So we'll have a lot to say about that. They have a competition every week, or not every week, but quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
And so we'll have a lot to report on that, hopefully, as far as how they perform and that type of thing. So,
well, gentlemen, do you have anything else?
I think we're good, just kind of, again, just gearing up for basketball right now, and things going on, and dance will start, and band's going to start, and we learned about archery today. And eventually, what I want to do, guys, is talk about wrestling. And get some...
Yeah, they should have some meets coming up here soon. I didn't get to see those on event.
They start the first week of December.
Okay.
Is when wrestling starts. They're in practice right now. I've been talking to Coach Baker, and he said he'd love to come on and bring a couple of the wrestlers, and we'll do something with that. As a reminder, we'd like to thank our sponsor for Knights of the Round Table, that you can catch on Tuesdays where we talk basketball. This week was boys basketball, and we had players in, the seniors in, and great interviews. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, it was good.
And Farm Bureau Insurance, Brian Maurer agent, is now sponsoring that. So that's a big deal. Also, you can catch Nightline on Mondays on the YouTube channel. Remember, subscribe. We need viewers. Subscribe. Give us the thumbs up, not the thumb down, but the thumb up. So that's what we need.
And share it with your friends, relatives, anybody who wants to look at. We try to bring a lot of good things, and we're going to try to gear this toward bringing the kids on. We want to hear what the kids have to say, because that's what we're here doing this for, is to showcase what they're doing.
Our parent company, Two Old Guys Productions, they really want to see what's going on. They want to really promote Northeastern, and in fact, we're doing something that nobody else is. No other school in the area is doing what we're doing.
Well, we're having a lot of fun with this, aren't we, Jared?
We're having a
Glad
ball.
to have Mark here. I'm sure this won't be the last time.
Yeah, I'm glad you found me room in the halls.
Yeah, roam in the halls. Come on in while you're roaming. Just sit down for a few minutes. Looks like you need some rest, Mark. So we're happy to have Mark here.
Yeah, so we're talking about the kids that we work with every day, so it's not a bad thing at all.
Well, for Mark Kerkhoff and Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton, and you know what? It's been another good night. Good show.
I think that was good.
Good show.
This flowed good. You know, some